None of these came with instructions, so I decided to make my own. Let's start with the axle sliders. Whether or not these will actually do anything in a crash is up for debate, but I feel like it's one of those situations where it can't hurt to have more protection even if you'll never need it. And they look pretty cool. On the front wheel you have two different shapes, and it'll be obvious which one goes where. Pull the pin out and take the cap off, and you'll see an Allen bolt in the middle. When you loosen that bolt, these pieces can shift together, and when you tighten it, they push apart. This is how they don't fall out. Then you can put the axle slider in, tighten up the Allen bolt, then put the cap back on, drop in the pin, and you're good to go. One side done. On the other side, you want to loosen the pinch bolts at the bottom of the fork, because you have to take the axle nut out. So you want to get a huge 30mm socket and remove the axle nut. It isn't too tight, and you don't have to raise the bike to do this. This axle slider actually replaces the factory axle nut. Put some grease on the threads of the new nut and screw it in. Then get a torque wrench with a 19mm socket and torque it to 60 Nm or 44 foot-pounds. Cap it, put the pin in, then torque those pinch bolts to 15 Nm or 11 foot-pounds. The right rear slider slides right in. And it's the same deal as before. Tighten up the bolt, cap it, pin it, and you're done. And if you were wondering if the axle sliders will clear the spools, they do. On the other side, you'll want to use this one. It has a thick spacer part so it sits further out to clear the swing arm. Tighten the bolt, put the cap on, pin it, and you're done. The final result looks nice and should save all these parts from being damaged in a crash. Your wheels, brakes, and that swing arm are really expensive, so these sliders are worth it.